Hi, you're welcome to lesson 3. And it's been an amazing journey. It's been a wonderful one. I hope you've been learning and you've been improving and you've been honest with yourself. Well, in lesson 3, we'll be dealing with understanding yourself. And I think this is one of the most important lessons so far. If you understand yourself, there you save yourself from almost all the troubles that every young girl faces, because when you understand yourself, you know how to deal with yourself better and you know how to carry yourself better. Most times we have frustrations because we don't understand what's going on with us. We don't know what's happening around us. We feel out of control. We feel like we don't have a say. We feel powerless. And majority of the cause of that effect is because we don't understand ourselves. So in this lesson, we'll be talking about understanding yourself in areas of your temperament, in areas of your strengths and your weaknesses, your flaws and your blind spots. Humans generally, we tend to cast blames on every other thing but ourselves. Most times, if something happened, we are not always the first point of call to blame. We blame every other thing. We blame God, we blame our parents, we blame our siblings, we blame our spouse and our partners or whatever, our friends, environment. But we find it difficult to actually look at ourselves as a contributor to that challenge, as the sole proprietor of that challenge. Because everything you're going through or whatever it is you deal with in life, you are the first point of call. But because we don't know ourselves, because we don't understand ourselves, we usually don't know that, and that forces us to look outside. But the first point of call is to look inside of yourself, to look inwards. And so in this lesson, we'll be talking about temperament. There are 4 basic types of temperaments that exist, of which I'm sure that you must have heard about them in one way or the other. But then we're going to talk about them in a simple term and in a way that you can pick out where you fall and which one is most common to you. And that way it should guide you into knowing how and why you behave and act the way you do, and you can get to accept yourself. Now, one of the things that self awareness does is to give you the room to know who you are and allows you to accept yourself. And that's the most important aim of this mentorship class. If you accept yourself, it'll be difficult for you to hate yourself. If you accept yourself, you'll be able to love yourself. You'll be able to take care of yourself better. You'll be able to be yourself better. Okay, so quickly let's dive into it. Forgive me, I would be looking into my notes. Yes, because I did a little bit of research. So I'll be taking down from here. Okay, so about your temperaments, we have 4 basic temperaments. We have a choleric, we have a sanguine, we have a phlegmatic, and we have the melancholic. Okay, I take that again. The choleric, the sanguine, the phlegmatic, and the melancholic. Now, so we would take them one after the other and you write down which one resonates with you. So we'll start from the cholerics. They are the natural born leaders. They are very driven people, they're driven by a desire to succeed. They are very ambitious and confident and assertive and strong-willed. They are impulsive and sometimes domineering. I'm pretty sure you've met someone like that, or if you're someone like that. They always want to be in control. They always want to be in charge. They always, they have this strong desire to succeed. They have this ambitious, mindset, and they naturally take charge. They naturally take the lead wherever you see them. Okay, so we'll be looking at their strengths one after the other. So, cholerics are often very decisive. They know how to decide for themselves. They are decisive in nature. They are ambitious, like I rightly said. They are confident, and they are strong-willed. They are not easily persuaded. You have to bring forth your strong reasons to be able to persuade them to do something or dissuade them from doing something. You have to, it's a real struggle with cholerics. They don't really know how to back down easily. I'm pretty sure you have some qualities like that inside of you. Mind you, you can have more than two temperaments. Okay, you can have a sprinkle of all of them. It depends on how God created you. You mustn't have just one. You mustn't have just two. Nobody have just one or two. Just a sprinkle here and there. But there are dominant ones. You can be a choleric in nature dominantly. Like most of the traits of the choleric, you possess them. And then we say you're a choleric, or you are sanguine, or all of that. But let's go on. Okay, so what are their weaknesses? What are their weaknesses? They are impulsive in nature. They can just stand up and run. They can just they can just decide something like impulsively. They can just be here and they tell you they're traveling tomorrow, or they stand up and just I used to be like that before. Very impulsive. Have you ever struggled with impulsive spending before? You can just see something and you want to buy. You didn't plan. You just get up and do something. Yeah, they're like that. They're dominating. It's not as if it's bad, but sometimes they get addicted to dominance. They always want to be in charge, and when they are not being in charge, they get frustrated. So that serves as a weakness. Okay, and then the next weakness is they're quick tempered. Cholerics, at the snap of the finger, they're angry. Sometimes you don't even know what will make them angry. They're always on the edge. You have to walk on eggshells around them. I kind of feel like I'm describing myself in a way. Okay, I'm no longer like that. Okay, I've worked on myself. And then we have the sanguines. Yeah, I'm sure you know about sanguines. They're the easygoing type. They're the life of the party. They always, they want to make you happy. They want to make you smile. They're the ones cracking the jokes. They are the ones, they want to be the one to pop the champagne. If they're in this room, everywhere is just going to be lit up because they are there. And when they're not there, you feel they're absent. Okay, they're sociable, they're easygoing, they're enthusiastic, they love to have fun, they love to party after party. And then let's look at their strengths. They're optimistic in nature. They always see the bright side of things. They're always seeing the silver lining in the clouds. They're always, they're adaptable. They come into an environment and you see them getting along very well. They, even though they didn't know anyone there, they can't get lost in the crowd. They just know how to fun. They have their way with people. They have the way of relating with people. They just know how to figure things out when it has to do with the social setting. They're adaptable like that. They're spontaneous. Yeah. They like to explore. They like to do fun things. So they can just tell you, let's go and climb a tree. Or you guys are coming back from somewhere and they're telling you, let's go swimming. They're spontaneous. They know how to improvise. Yes. So long as it's fun, they're up for it. Okay, and then they're social. Then let's look at their weaknesses. Okay, because they are spontaneous, there is every tendency for them to be impulsive. Okay, just like the choleric, they just do things. They don't think about it before they do it. It's after they do it, they now think about it. Like, oh, jeez, what that I did? My God, did you mean we went to club last night? You meant you mean we spent all that money we made? Are you serious? That kind of thing. And then they are very disorganized. They're often disorganized people. Sanguines, they find it difficult to put themselves together. You can see a sanguine, especially the males. The females, I don't know. I've not really seen a female sanguine who is disorganized, but I've seen a male sanguine who is disorganized. They can just okay, they let's say for instance they went for a party the night before and they're hungover and they have an interview the next morning, and you're going to be seeing them haggard up, running to the interview and they're talking in. It's crazy. Sanguines are crazy like that. Okay, and then they're easily distracted, easily distracted. You can see them, they can be talking to you and the next minute just one little thing would take their attention away from you. They can be easily distracted. Yeah, these are sanguines for you. Pardon me a little, let me flip up on my page. All right, and then we have the phlegmatics. Okay, so does the sanguine sound like you? Does the sanguine sound like you? Are you like that? Mind you, there are a lot of qualities to these traits. I'm just giving you a few. There's nothing says you cannot go and research more. If the trait sounds like you, go and research more about it so that you can get acquainted with this different temperament and know which one really suits you more. Okay, and then we have the phlegmatics. Phlegmatics are calm. They are calm ones. They're reserved. They're diplomatic in nature. They're always keeping their cool. They're always looking chill, calm, collected. They value stability, they value security, and their peace of mind. Okay, they're very practical and reliable, yet they're always indecisive and complacent. Okay, they're very stubborn. You can tell them do this, and they don't want to do that thing. They're not going to tell you they would do it. They might even tell you they would do it, but at the end of the day they're not going to do it. It's what's in their mind they're going to do. That's how phlegmatics operate. They like stability, they don't like drama. Whatever is going to take away their peace of mind, phlegmatics are not on it with you. You're going to be on your own. They prefer their peace, they prefer their quietness. They're often reserved, they don't like trouble. Okay. And they're very reliable, actually. Yeah, you can count on them. You can count on them. They often keep to their word if they want to. They are the kind of people that they don't want to do something, they won't do it. There's nothing you're going to feel like break your head. They wouldn't do it. And if they want to do something, they would do it against all odds. And when they are out to do something, they're all out to do it. Okay. So let's look at their strengths. They are calm in chaos, they're always keeping their cool. And sometimes when you expect them to get riled up, if you're not a patient person, you'll be upset. Like, does this person have feelings at all? They have feelings, they're just calm, they don't stress them. Okay. And then they're practical, they're always looking for solutions. So instead of them to get riled up and all of that, they're thinking of a solution and a way out. And if you're not the kind of person that knows how to keep your cool, you get upset with them. And they're reliable, you can always count on them, you can depend on them. They are constant in a way. Because stability and security is what they care about. They care about peace. So they're more constant. If they say they're going to do something, they are more, I don't want to use the word dogmatic, but that's it describes a phlegmatic better. Okay, so what are their weaknesses? They're indecisive in nature, they're complacent. It would take motivation for them to make a decision. It will take a lot. A decision that a sanguine will make in 5 seconds, a phlegmatic will make it in 5 years. I'm telling you the honest truth. That's how they are. And they are resistant to change. I was trying to avoid the word dogmatic, okay? But yeah, they're resistant to change. It's very difficult to change a phlegmatic's mind. When their mind are made up, no, you can't change it like that. It will take a lot to change their mind. Once they make a decision, it takes a lot to change their mind. If you offend a phlegmatic, on your own, no. Because the forgiveness is far-fetched. It'll take a lot for them to forgive you. And even when they forgive you, they're still going to be skeptical about you. That's how a phlegmatic is. Are you like that? There's nothing bad with this quality traits. It's just they have strengths and weaknesses. It's what makes the balance, to be in place. So be honest with yourself. Be honest with yourself. If you're a phlegmatic, be honest with yourself. Don't go saying because you don't like the weaknesses of a phlegmatic, you're not a phlegmatic. Meanwhile, that's who you are. Okay. All right. And then we have a melancholy. Yeah. I kind of did that, because this is where I belong. So these are analytics in nature. They introspect a lot. They are super sensitive, and they are detailed oriented. They are creative. They are innovative. They are perfectionists. They can be overly sensitive and self-analytic and very critical in nature. This describes the melancholy. I want to use the word we are because I belong here. Okay. We are overly sensitive. We overthink things. They're the overthinkers. Okay. You say good morning, and the person is wondering, why did he say good morning like that? You know, why did he greet me good morning like that? Yesterday he greeted me good morning. Yesterday's own was calm. This good morning now is sounding excited. Why is he excited like that? He has never been excited when he's greeting me good morning. Does that mean he likes me? Maybe he doesn't like what I wore. Is that so he was not greeting me good morning. He wanted to laugh, but that's how melancholies are. They're always analytical, they're always critical, they're always, introspecting, they're always overthinking things. They read in between meanings, they read into, they think of you people. Melancholy. And that's because they're creatives, okay? Let's look at their strengths now. They're analytical in nature, they are creative, they are perfectionists. When you ask them to organize events, a melancholy is going to be very detailed, down to the least color of flowers, down to the color of the table mat, down to the color of the spoons they're going to use. Everything has to match. They are very detailed, and you find them most in fashion design industry. You find them most in cake designers. If you're not very detailed like that, you cannot be found in these industries. Someone like Vicky James, she's a perfectionist in nature. Yeah, she's a blend of all four. Here's what happens when you're born again and the Holy Spirit is in your life. He kind of sharpens you, and he does a lot of work on you, and then you become a perfect blend of the four, actually. So I think that's what happened to Vicky James. You become a perfect blend of all four of the temperaments, because if you're too much of one, you're going to miss out on the other, and you become a burden to people around you. So yeah. Okay, so what are their weaknesses? What are their weaknesses? They are critical in nature. Yeah, they are self-analytical. They're always often very hard on themselves. Something that you would forgive yourself for, if a melancholy will not, they would take it to the next level with themselves. And then they're overly sensitive and always taking things very personal, very, very personal. They take things personal. We take things personal. Don't do anyhow. We'll take it personal. Okay, so yeah, that's it for temperament aspect. But before I round off this section, I'd like us to also talk about understanding your body, because it is important for you to get to know what stands out for you and what doesn't work for you. So I'd just leave you with a couple of questions in order for you to get to understand your body properly. Because if you don't ask yourself these questions, you're not getting answers. And when you're answering them, please be honest with yourself. So the first question I want to ask is, how do you respond to stress? How does your body respond to stress? There's some persons that when they're stressed, their back begins to ache. When they're stressed, they begin to have headaches. Like me, if I'm stressed, I have headaches a lot. If I'm stressed, I'll just one side of my head will start aching me, and that's migraine. And when that happens, what I do is, if I can take a nap, I'm good. But most times it's not easy to sleep when you're having a headache. So you just find what works for you. For me, if I'm having a headache, I can see a movie and I'll be refreshed, or I can listen to music and I'll be refreshed, or I can just take a lot of water and I'll be refreshed. So you know what works for you and you do it. Okay, so how does your body respond to stress? You need to find that out. And how does she react to pressure? When you're under pressure, how does your body react? For me, I can go to the restroom like 5, 6 times when I'm under pressure. I feel so anxious and nervous. I I begin to tingle. Like if I'm under pressure, I just walk around. I take a walk. That's how my body reacts to pressure. So how does your body react to pressure? Some persons, when they are under pressure, they throw up. You need to know what works for you. So when you see, you know how to cope. When you're in a situation, you know how to cope with it. And then when you're eating, how do you know you're full? How do you know you're full? Some persons, when they bop, they know they are full. They know they are full. Some persons, after bopping, they're not full. Oh. They're just starting. So how do you react when you're full? Okay, how do you boost your energy? how do you boost your energy levels? We all have what boosts our energies. We all have what increases our energy levels. So how do you boost your energy levels? Like for me, if I work, my energy levels are always high when I'm working. And what kind of work makes my energy level high? It's this kind of work, what I'm doing now. When I'm talking, when I'm writing, when I'm reading, this keeps my energy level high. But when I do physical labor, I am stressed out. It depletes my energy level. But any mental work, it keeps my energy level high. So you need to know the kind of work that keeps your energy level high, and you need to know the one that depletes your energy level. If I take a run in the morning, I get better. My energy levels are boosted for the entire day. It makes me think at the speed of light. But often I don't run. I don't run because it makes me lose weight. And of course, you'll be using microscope to look for me if I start losing weight more than I am right now. That's by the way. Okay. Okay. How do you react to cold? How do you react to cold and how do you react to heat? There are some persons when they are hot, they cannot function properly. They are cranky. They would do anything to get out of that environment. Especially let's say for instance when you're hot, boss, you're trying to go somewhere and the environment is hot and the place is 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 uncomfortable. How do you react in that situation? At that point in time, some persons get so cranky that if you touch them, it's irritating. So how do you react in that kind of situation? Okay, so you also need to know the kind of food you're allergic to. We're talking about your body now. You need to know the kind of food you're allergic to. What kind of food are you allergic to? There's some kind of food if you eat, you know that this kind of food does this to me. What are those kind of food? I don't like orange. There's a orange is good for your body, but I don't like it. I don't know why I don't like it. If I have orange, I feel like I've cheated my body. I don't know why. I seriously don't know why. But if you bring avocado, I'm good to go. I love avocado. If you bring I'm not a fan of banana that much, but I can take banana smoothie. If I eat more than three fingers of banana, I feel like puking and my entire system is going to change. But if I take banana smoothie, maybe mixed with granite or something, I'm okay. So what makes you what is that food that your body reacts to? There's some things you shouldn't eat because your body don't like them. Stay away from them. It's not a must because other people are eating it. You need to know that thing. Some people died of food poisoning, not because they actually poisoned them, but because there was something their body does not like that is in that food. Your body functions um, in a chemical way. So when you eat something and the chemical reaction of your body begins to react to that food or that particular chemical in that food that you ate, it's another ball game altogether. Um, I don't like spicy food. When I cook in my house, I try as much as I can to cook the food naturally. I don't use a lot of spice in. The highest I can use is curry. I mean, curry. That's the highest I use for my food. Not because I don't actually eat spicy food outside, but it's just my body reacts to it differently. I can eat spicy food, the food that have so many spices inside, and I come back home and I'm feeling nauseous. I'm feeling as if I want to, let out everything that I ate. And it's not because the food was poisoned, it's just that my body does not like spicy food. Okay, so know what your body likes and what your body does not like. Another thing is I like you to also understand your menstrual cycle. I know a lot of girls don't know how to calculate their menstrual cycles, and maybe I'm going to do a session on that, but you need to know how to calculate your menstrual cycle so you know what to do yourself. There are times when, okay, for instance, I know that my menstrual cycle, my message starts at the beginning of the month. So at the beginning of the month, I plan myself. I reduce my outing activities. Like if I'm supposed to go somewhere at a particular, maybe let's say on the first, the third of the month, I would try as much as I can to make the activities within those days not to be so stressful for me because I'm going to have a natural stress that will be deposited upon me. We didn't ask for it, just comes. Okay, so I try as much as I can to reduce my activities for those days to accommodate this part of me. So as a female, you have to learn how to understand your body in that in that category, you know you need to learn how to calculate your menstrual cycle. And then if you know how to calculate your menstrual cycle, you would avoid some, some accidents and some emergencies. Let's say, for instance, you know your menstrual cycle, so you know when to go with pad in your bags, and you know when to eat certain food. You know what, like during my menstrual cycle, I don't take sugary things. I don't. It makes my stomach cramp a lot. So what you need to understand your menstrual cycle, and then you plan alongside. Let me not dwell on that so much. About your mind, okay, so what makes you sensitive? What are the things that makes your mind so sensitive? What are those words that if you hear, they really get to you? If somebody tells you you're crazy, does that affect your mind? Somebody can be saying it jokingly, like for melancholists that take things personally. If you tell them you're mad, it depends on the context of which you were saying it. They can actually take it personally. So what are those words that gets to you? Before, not now anymore, I've outgrown those things. Before, I used to get upset when someone calls me agbani, you know. They even go for that to call me stockfish. They go for that to call me skeleton and all of those things. It got me to a point where I became depressed, okay, because of those. They used to call me chopstick, toothpick. What didn't they call me in this life? They called me names. They called me names. So I those things used to get to me before, but now it doesn't get to me anymore because I worked on myself, and I love me the way I am. I accept me the way I am. I am beautiful though. Nobody find me past me. Nobody find it me. Why? Because I've gotten to accept myself. Like, this is who I am. So those things no longer get to me. But now you're getting to accept yourself. You need to be honest with yourself. Which one? If they tell you that they call you fat girl, will you be angry? They call you slim girl, will you be angry? What do people actually say to you that gets you upset? You need to find those things out. And then, are you the kind of person that believes things easily? Now, because of it, I'm a melancholy. I believe things easily because I overthink things. Okay, so what are those things that if they tell you, you believe easily? Someone can tell you that you're not going to succeed, and you might be tempted to believe it because the situations around you does not make it possible for you to succeed. That's not true. You're going to succeed if you want to. The only person that can stop you is you. Nobody has the power and the right to stop you from succeeding. Not even God. God does not even have the power to stop you from succeeding because God is waiting for you. God respects your will. God respects your will. And if God respects your will, then everything about your success is dependent on you. And then if God was in a position where he can tell you not to succeed and you will not succeed, he's not that kind of God because he says he wish above all things that you prosper and be in good health, even as your soul prospers. He also said that he knows the thought that he thinks towards you, thoughts of good and not of evil, to give you an expected and to give you a future and a hope. So what are those things that you've believed about yourself that are not real, that are not true, that doesn't serve the purpose? What are those things that you've let people tell you that is hurting your feeling? You keep on ruminating on them. You keep on thinking about them. You keep on, overthinking, brooding on them, and they're not really serving those purposes. What are those things? You need to be honest with yourself and you need to write them down. And then lastly, how does your mind respond to a lack of sleep? When you don't get enough sleep, how do you respond to it? How does your mind respond to it? If I stay days and I don't sleep, what happens to me is that I become cranky. I become irritable. Like, don't touch me. Don't come close to me. Just give me my space if I have not had enough sleep. Okay. But you also need to find out what is that thing. How does your body react to a lack of sleep? So that whenever you're lacking sleep, you can easily know and just go and sleep. This is very simple. If you know what is the cause of the problem, you can take away the cause now, and the problem has been solved. Most times in understanding ourselves, we don't really understand that this is the reason why. So we act like babies. Well, maturity demands that you become self-aware, and when you're self-aware, you now know what to do. Imagine a child who is just born. The baby is feeling uncomfortable but doesn't know what is going on. Baby starts crying. I dare say most adults are like that. You something is happening in your life, you don't know what's happening, you start crying, you start acting out of character. Acting out of character. So the best way is for you to understand yourself, know what works for you, know your temperament, and then in the next session we'll be talking about your drives and motivation, and also be talking about your strengths and weaknesses. And that's it for this section. I hope you learned something. Please don't forget to write down all that we've discussed. Don't forget to write down the questions and answer them honestly, because that's the only way you're going to understand yourself. And I hope you learned something today. Bye.